So, I may have gotten a new toy. And I've already started cutting fabric pieces because I'm going to make some cool patchwork stuff to wear. Howdy ho, Darklings. Hopefully you can hear me okay and there's not too much interference from outside. I have the windows open because it's like 75 degrees and it's almost the end of September. What the actual hell, Washington? What the hell? So, for most of this, I am just going to be chatting and not looking directly at the camera. So if you have some weird thing where you think that is unnatural and off-putting, this might not be the video for you. But I do have some insights to share about how the advice to niche down. What is the point of even having a zipper on it if you cover it with tape so you can't get into the damn bag? How the advice about niching down your channel not only killed my creativity and urge to create content, but just about completely killed my channel. I am getting my serger / overlocker machine set up, so there will probably be some crinkles. I will attempt not to speak at the same time as the crinkles, just for clarity, but yeah. So this is going to be a little bit of my experience with the well-intentioned advice of niche down. Personally, my biggest issue with that advice in the first place is that I am a multifaceted creature. I am not a one-dimensional caricature of something. And there are more parts to my personality than just the one aspect. I understand that for a lot of people, they show up on a YouTube channel for one type of content, which is fine. But making only the exact same type of content over and over and over on repeat gets really, really friggin' boring really, really fast. Even if it's something you're passionate about, it's going to kill your passion for it because you're like, oh, well, I had this one video that really popped off, so I need to replicate that, right? I need to do that again and again with slightly different flavor profiles because that was where the success came from. So I have to chase duplicating that to make YouTube their AdSense money so I can get pennies and maybe some interactions if I'm lucky. Maybe. However, you will discover that your interest for things you once enjoyed will be squashed and turned to ash beneath the weight of the expectations of always trying to get another hit video. I believe my most popular video on this channel is the one where I went over all of my personal tips and tricks to deal with the cataclysm that is a cheap-ass Centro knitting machine. So I made another video like a year or two later once we moved into this place where we will probably be until we finally end up getting to go back to New York to stay. And the cleaning video did not do as well, but I also had not been posting as consistently then. Because posting consistently is key. Okay, that's great. And that works well for people who have a schedule that aligns with normal life. Wow, this is making me look really blonde, and I am not blonde, you guys. Like, I don't know what the deal is. Eyes look nice though, but I'm not this blonde. I promise. It makes it look like I'm blonde on the bottom and like my roots are super dark, and that is just, I don't know, it's friggin' weird. Anyway. And this is why I don't look at myself very often when I'm filming either, or look at you, because if I do that, then I'm like, I just want to criticize everything about the way I look because I don't want to admit that I'm going to be 40 in January. So this is going to be very tangential. And congratulations if you can keep track of the conversations. I will always try to lead back to what the hell I was talking about, but I'm probably going to get distracted because I am distracted doing a bunch of things because I have to get ready for work. Well, actually, I am ready for work. All I have to do is put my shoes on, but I have to leave for work in 2 hours. So I'm trying to get this thing set up, maybe do a little bit of test sewing with it, and do this thing because I haven't recorded a video in almost 3 weeks. And every time I start to finally make progress, something happens. So I don't get to do as many videos as I need to because I am a one-man show. But I have 2 kids that I have to take care of that are currently at their father's house. So that is why I can actually record because they're not here. On the weeks when they are here, I accomplish next to nothing aside from momming. And I am coming to terms with the fact that that is okay because that's the way that it should be. They should come first. Page 14, that's what I'm looking for. It looks like it's already kind of threaded, but I don't know. Raise the tree to its highest position. Ka-clunk, I'm assuming that means that is the highest position. That has got some crazy hecka tension on it. Okay. But niching down, like I said, will make you hate things that you once enjoyed. And it is tragic, but it is unfortunately the truth. Because it no longer becomes about what you enjoy. It becomes about, oh, well, I have to do this XYZ way because, unfortunately, for a lot of us, the side hustle that is YouTube can be the difference between putting gas in your car some weeks or not being able to. So even though it's not a lot, and YouTube is very fickle sometimes, that little bit of money makes a difference, you know? It does. And you can't afford to lose it, so you become what? You become a slave to the algorithm. And occasionally also to the whim of your viewership. That is totally wrapped up in there so bad. Why is that wrapped up in there so bad? Because that one was completely unwound when it got here, that's why. And it is good to take into account what your viewers actually enjoy, because you do want to keep making content that appeals to them so they come back and watch more. But I feel like YouTube viewers have taken on a role very similar to a lot of readers in regards to indie authors, and they have this strange meta sense of control. Like, oh, well, you did something that I didn't like. I think that you really need to change that. Or you could go consume somebody else's books and content. I just don't understand the entitlement. It really, really bothers me, which I may have mentioned a few times before. So if that's repetitive, it is repetitive because it still pisses me off. Wait, does that go on there? Spool pin, those things. Do those things need to go on there? So then what are the wheel things? I don't understand. This is not a 2-needle model. I do not. Oh, it is. Oh, well, in that case, I guess I do have to put those on, don't I? Okay. See, like I said, all over the place. And if you get it, you get it. And if you don't, then I guess you don't. And that is a-okay. But I don't know what's happening. Okay. So the issue with me feeling like I needed to niche down and change my content came with the fact that with my job and with getting divorced and with living with a boyfriend who was a whole other thing for a while. And now being completely on my own with no help from anyone except my parents, which still bugs the ever-loving shit out of me as an adult to need financial assistance from my parents to be able to function, because I make too much for any other sort of assistance. But I don't, because my rent is like 75% of my income, and rent goes up by $100 in January, so that'll be fun. That'll be lots of fun. Changing locations and getting divorced so that I no longer had stay-at-home mom time, but now have work all the time mom time, and still have to keep the house cleanish. I'll be honest, the house is not as clean as I would like it to be, and it is way more cluttered than I would like it to be. But I only have so many hours in a day. And where is... No, that's not it. Oh, that. Okay. And then is that the... Yes. Okay. Interesting. But anyway, I only have so many hours in a day. And can only sacrifice sleep so much to be productive and do all the things. And unfortunately, with my job being as labor intensive on my hands as it is, because I am a licensed massage therapist, if you didn't know, so that's why I've got these that don't go away, and why my hands don't get to be pretty anymore. Can't even paint my nails. Well, I mean, I could, but they're I wash my hands like 90 times a day, so what would be the point? Because the polish is just going to flake off and look like ass anyhow. This is going to be so much to learn, but it's going to be worth it. Oh my god, Una, I almost just crushed you with the chair, darling. Killing me. So this has been running for 18 minutes already, and I can tell you right now, there's definitely not going to be that much content that's going to go up so far, because so much of it is me just staring at things and trying to figure out what the hell I'm looking at. With everything changing job-wise and location-wise, I essentially don't knit and crochet hardly at all anymore. I did a little bit last year in the winter, and doing so meant that I was hardly writing at all at the same time. So I have learned that I have seasons that are most effective for certain crafts and creative output. And those seasons are not all day, all the freaking time. I can't be on all the time. And people expect you to be on all the time. And maybe not viewers so much as YouTube is set up in such a way that their social media will say silly, pandering, ridiculous lies like, oh, we don't want you to suffer burnout. Make sure you take a break. Bro, if I take a break for more than 2 weeks, my views that were already only at like 50 per video, when once upon a time when I was posting once or twice a week, when I was still a stay-at-home mom and had the time to do so, I would get 1,000 views on a video in the first day. Like, that was my standard for my channel, for my viewership. And that was without like buying views or buying subscribers or any of that crap. That was the standard. Now, if I get 100 views on a video, it's a big fucking deal. And that is ridiculous, because I can post consistently for like a week, or every week rather, for like a month. I can schedule content to go up and get next to no views, next to no engagement. Nobody comments on anything anymore. I understand that a lot of people who are subscribed to this channel are here for crafty content from way back when. But I have been saying for like 2 years at this point, you guys, I don't have time to do physical crafts very often anymore. Look at me recording a chatting video while I'm trying to thread a serger, which is something that arguably takes quite a bit of fucking concentration, so I'm probably gonna fuck it up and have to do it all over again. But that's fine, because all that matters is the content grind. The churn is all that matters to YouTube. And getting people to interact, because now they're changing things. In case you didn't know, if you are a content creator and wondered why all of a sudden your views and everything just kind of went, they've changed things so that now it's not just views that count as views. There are engaged views. So if people are not subscribed to your channel, they do not like the video, they do not comment on the video, it's not going to get pushed. It's not going to get shown to other people. You're going to make less from your ad revenue, which, for the record, at nearly 10K subscribers, which is where I'm at right now, I'm at like 9,940 something, or 50, 60 something, I don't even know. But that's okay, because I'm sure that'll drop by like another 20 when I post this, because every time I post a video that is not craft related but is writing related, people seemed to have missed the memo that that's more what I'm doing now, which I'll get into more in a minute, because we're finally almost to the conclusion of why everything got horrible and continues to suck. If I can remember what the fuck I was saying, that is. Can I remember? Survey says no, but we're gonna soldier on like we know what the hell we're doing, because I am a fake professional. At least I play one on television if you're watching this on your TV. So everything boils down to shake it for the algorithm, or you get punished and you get buried. And I just don't have time to spend hours researching, oh, what's the hit thing right now? What's the big booktube drama? What's this? What's that? Going viral is not the end all and be all, but if you can have a video or two that pops off, that can make astronomical differences in how your channel is perceived by YouTube. So you kind of want to, but you kind of don't want to, because then that goes back to, oh, well, I had this one thing that was really successful, so now in order to stay relevant and stay successful, I have to continue to do this exact same thing with the exact same formula until they change the algorithm again. Ad nauseum, to the point where you want to just go take a dirt nap forever and be done with it all, because it's so awful. One of the reasons that I didn't want to go back to retail after being a stay-at-home mom for 6 years is because I do not want to do the exact same thing all day, 8 hours a day, 5 days a week. I don't like that. I don't want to do a motion so many times that in an exhausted power nap on the couch, I move my hands and ask someone to sign a credit card slip, which I did right after high school. My boyfriend at the time would attest to that fact, because it woke him up, because I said, here, can I have you sign this for me, please? And he goes, did you just ask me to sign a credit card slip? I was like, I don't know, did I? Oh, I guess I did. That's not life. And I hate that something like YouTube, which was supposed to be about creative expression and embracing our differences, has now become this wall of sameness, get in line like a good little sheep, or you're going to get kicked off the cliff. You're going to be walking over the cliff eventually anyway, if you're a good little sheep, but it's just a matter of when. If you are a black sheep, then you have problems from the get-go, and they will actively chase you and try to make you leave. Also, like I mentioned with the entitlement, some people are just weird on the platform. Some viewers are very strange. Some viewers are very supportive, but whenever I post an absolutely normal mundane video and instantly get like 2 dislikes on it, I'm like, bro, who pissed in your Cheerios? Like, what is your problem? Me personally, unless somebody says something that is actively cat auto feeder, unless somebody says something that is actively inflammatory or like encouraging violence, I don't dislike a video. It doesn't matter if that video from that creator is something that's not what I would usually watch from them. Honestly, if it's something I wouldn't usually watch from them, I just don't freaking watch it. I wish that people would embrace YouTube more in the way I'm trying to mentally view it, and rather than thinking, oh, this channel is for this tiny, very niche subject, and this channel by this same person is for another itty bitty micro niche. Why can't you just think about it like each creator has a television channel? And television channels do not only play one specific show. They have multiple different types of shows that pop up on different weeks and different days of the week. And that is what I am trying to establish, is which days I want to do what sorts of content, like vlogs on Monday, maybe like a tutorial or a craft along with me thing on like a Thursday or something. Something like that. You know, it's just, I wish I could get everybody to get on the same wavelength as me, but I understand that people are people and not everybody thinks the same way and blah, 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 whatever. But it would be nice if there were some things that we could universally be on the same page about. I feel like a lot of other creators will agree with me on that front. But when I pivoted my content from making crafting content to doing authory things, views were about a third of what they were. So I went from having about 1,000 views within the first 24 to 48 hours to a video would get maybe 300-ish views. And unfortunately, because of life and work and being sick for 4 months straight and not being able to breathe, so I couldn't film anything, everything tanked from there. And now, like I said, I'm lucky if I get 100 views per video now, which is whatever. And then YouTube is like, oh, the content that's being most viewed on your channel is older content. Maybe you should try posting more relevant content to get better views. And it was like, okay, so in order to stop bringing in people looking for knitting, crochet, yarn, craft, whatever content, maybe I should unlist those videos so that the only things that show will be my author stuff. And then people started to get really nasty, and I've deleted comments, so you're not going to be able to see the nastiness, but some of you may have seen some of it here and there. And thank you for not engaging with the trolls, because we do not need to feed them. We need to starve them and drown them under their bridges. Now watch me get a ding for saying something violent. So I tried that for a while, only posting the author content with everything else unlisted. Absolutely abysmal reach and engagement. Like, oh my God, so bad. But a lot of people did stick around, and some people have always just been here for me. They don't care what I'm doing. They just like listening to me talk, or they find my absolutely candid, unfiltered self to be refreshing. And for those people, I love you and I appreciate you. And you are always welcome in this space. Because I may live in the hell that is Washington. That's not quite a swamp yet, which is highly irregular for this time of year, but it usually is. But I am a New Yorker through and through, and I am as subtle as a train wreck, as my father likes to say. I do not filter my thoughts. I may occasionally filter my words, but I have also never said that this is a family-friendly channel, so there's probably a lot of 4-letter words in here that you may not want to expose children to. And this channel was always meant to be for adults anyway, not for kids. So, like, if there are kids here that are looking at the crochet tutorials, cool. But if you see something that's not a crochet tutorial, it's going to be full of naughty words. And that's just all there is to it. All of my stuff is marked as not made for kids. So, whatever. That's neither here nor there. Not my responsibility to be nanny for you. Maybe your parents should be watching you if you under like 10. Not my business, not my problem. So, after the whole a wild Atticus appears, stealing my chairs. But after the whole trying to just post new authorly content and grind that and post as much of that as possible, and it really didn't go anywhere. I have now finally relisted all of my old vlogs and all of the knitting and crochet tutorials. And what do you know? My YouTube ad revenue went from being like $1.97 for the past month. Yes, no joke, $1.97. To within less than a week, it has gone up to $5 from reposting those knitting machine videos, essentially. It's just, you can't win for losing, you know? But I don't want to have to juggle like 5 different channels because people can't read a description or a thumbnail or a video title that will clearly tell you what the content is about. I am not a clickbaity kind of girl. I wish I could be, because I know that I would be doing so much better in terms of ad revenue and whatnot. But I don't want to do that shit. I am not a liar. I am bad at being disingenuous. I am not good with even white lies in general. That's why my kids don't do the Santa Claus thing. Because I didn't want to do that to them from the get-go and then have them realize, oh, adults think it's okay to lie to us as long as nobody's physically harmed in the process. Nope. Didn't want to do that. Ex-mother-in-law is still salty about that, by the way. But now that I've opened up all the different things on the channel, it's also led me into wanting to occasionally do audios again on the other channel, which is funny because I'm pretty sure in my last video I was like, I don't want to friggin' do that anymore. So, sporadic, occasional posts to the girlfriend ASMR / audio drama channel. And I have my new itty bitty baby channel that is just for narrations and reading stuff. I am not sure. I think I'm going to be putting chapter readings of my books on there. Obviously not the spicy chapters. Those will be over on my Substack because Substack does audio. I haven't done anything with it yet, so I have to do a little more finessing and research and figure out what all exactly goes into that. But with the way the Audible program has changed things for indie authors specifically with their pool fund thing over on Amazon, I don't foresee myself posting full audiobooks through Audible. I don't know if I would use other audiobook places. I think honestly I'm probably just going to stick with Substack, and any 18 plus chapters will just be behind the paywall. So if you want the spicy spice, I guess you'll have to kick out a couple of bucks for the spicy spice. But yeah, it's a lot going on. Itty bitty tiny channel for narrations and whatnot is Dark Tales Foundry. Girlfriend ASMR channel is Dark Dominion. And then you have this one, which is The Dark Project, which is life vlogs, author things, and crafting stuff, and all about rediscovering my creative spark and zest for life as a working way too much single mom. Because as much as I love watching some of the, I don't know how to say this without it seeming like I'm being derogatory, and I genuinely do not mean it to be, but when I see the early 20 something, very attractive, very well made up, aesthetically pleasing early 20s author tubers that are in college or recently graduated college or still live with their parents or have a spouse who completely supports them financially. Those things are wonderful, and I love you guys, and your stuff is entertaining as hell to watch. And I am so glad that you're here in this space, because we all need people who are like us in some way. And there are plenty of other young people who will see them doing that and go, oh, you mean I could do this too? That's awesome. And that's great. I love them. But I am not one of them. And I know that most people watching me are also not one of them, and probably also in some capacity low-key salty that because we don't film in 4K with a pretty sparkling vine and fairy light background, that we're not doing as well as them because people judge a book by its cover. That's just facts, unfortunately. But I want the other people who are midlifers like me trying to figure out where we belong in the world and trying to find our way with things that we enjoy to know that there are more of us out there. Yes, we're fucking exhausted. We drink way too much coffee. And sometimes we have to really hope that the natural light will hide the eye bags, because man, them bags be bagging some days. But we're still here, and we're still also chasing our dreams. And there's nothing wrong with that. And sometimes chasing that dream and building that dream doesn't come down to, oh, I'm going to have a 10K day and sit in my chair all day and write, because that's not practical for most of us, especially if we have kids and other full-time jobs and are trying to keep our house at least kind of sort of clean, even if it is more cluttered than we'd like it to be. We don't have time to do that. And I'm tired of feeling like I am somehow lesser or less of a creator, less of an author, less dedicated to becoming a full-time author, because we all have the same 24 hours in a day, and I cannot do that. Am I finding ways? Absolutely. But like in regards to my 185-day challenge thingy, I've written 500 words this month, and it is the 23rd of September as I am filming this. Am I going to get 19,500 words in the next 7 days when I work my non-kid week? So I'm actually working more hours this week, twice as many hours this week as I work on the weeks when I have the kids. Highly unlikely. Is it impossible? No. But is it highly improbable? Yes. And that is okay. Because, oh my God, so many things are always happening. Like Killian playing trumpet and me trying to figure out where the heck I'm supposed to take him to play trumpet, because it's literally in our fucking lease agreement that you can't teach or practice an instrument in these tiny apartments with paper thin fucking walls. So glad my ex-husband made that decision for all of us, like he always does. Not that I'm, miffed about that or anything. But yeah, it is okay to be a chronologically adultier adult, because I'm not implying that those people have less responsibilities or are just whatever out having chaotic fun because they're in their early 20s. But our responsibilities are different. And I think that rather than always beating ourselves up and feeling like shit because, oh, I didn't hit my word count goal today. Oh no, now I'm 3 days behind. Oh, I have to make that up somewhere. Oh no, what am I going to do? You don't. Some days you just can't. And that is okay. Am I saying that you should say, oh, well, I missed a day, so I'm just never going to write again? No, but not writing every single day doesn't make you any less of an author. And we're not going to dither about the differences between author and writer as far as terms go, because people argue about one means that you're published and one means that you're not, and one means that you're full-time or it's your total income and blah, 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 whatever. No, we're not. The terms are interchangeable. If you write, you are an author. The end. But I feel like with everything that's been going on in the world in the past few weeks, primarily me deciding that I was going to greatly reduce and limit my exposure to social media after I got jump scared on Twitter with an unblurred, unsensitive content warning video of a certain C. Kirk 2 weeks ago, and then heard about the event at a school directly after that. And a few days prior to that, quasi-locally to me, a few other massage therapists were attacked and nearly beaten to death in their clinic by a blacklisted former client. It's been a lot, and it's kind of made me step back from things and reevaluate the way I am approaching things. Because we only get one life. And while I don't want to feel like I wasted it, I also don't want to get so caught up in the productivity grind that I miss quiet moments that I should be enjoying and the little things that I should be enjoying. Like my older son getting to go to the fair with a friend and coming home super late in the evening and then getting to experience a fun hangover the next morning because he ate way too much fair food. And I could have told him that I didn't want him to go because I didn't want to deal with the nonsense of somebody having to pick him up and then having to entertain the younger one all on his own and all the other things. But they only get one life too. And I really hate that I cannot give them the same opportunities and experiences that someone with more money than I have could. So when somebody who has more money than me offers to take my kids to go do something fun, even though it means me having less time with them, I let them go. Because it's not just about me. Although I know that there are parts of our daily routine that are atypical, like me still singing them to sleep every night and reading to them every night, despite the fact that they are practically 11 and 13 at this point. I am doing my best to set myself up for success in the future. I really do want to be a full-time author and content creator by the time the kids graduate from high school, which is 8 years. God, that's horrifying. 7 years. 7, 8. Closer to 7 than 8 at this point. But they're also going to be gone and likely off on their own in 8 years. So trying to find that balance between pushing and hustling and growing and making the things so people can find the things and buy the things and read the things and watch the things and listen to the things. It's a lot. And when I see younger people just having their babies now and they think they're going to still be doing all of these things, I'm like, I feel like your priorities are going to change. Like I could get a lot more done when the kids still took naps. And now that they're more independent, I could be doing a lot of things, but I would rather be spending time with them because they are growing so fast and they're going to be men before I'm ready. I'm already not ready. So if you made it this far in the video, before I totally lose my shit and start crying and getting mascara all over my face, because we're almost at that point. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe. And if niching down works for you and focusing on just one topic or type of content is enjoyable for you, do that. But know that at some point in the future that might change. And then you'll have to adjust and pivot and figure it out all over again. And that's totally acceptable and totally fine too. So remember to take care of yourselves and each other. And we are all just works in progress. So I will catch you all in the next video, whenever that may be. Take care, Darklings.